A very good morning and Jai Hind children. Welcome to biology class. Children, in the previous class of biology, we have started the chapter number 8, getting to know plants. Isn't it? So please open this chapter number 8, getting to know plants. In the previous class, we have talked about the basic concept of this chapter. So we have seen different types of plants that are available. So depending on whether it is bearing the flower or not, the plants are divided into two types. What are they? Flowering plant and non-flowering plant. Okay. So plants that can bear a flower is called flowering plant, and there are certain plants that cannot bear a flower. So they are called non-flowering plants. Okay. And depending on the size of plants, we also have three different categories. What are they? Herbs, shrubs and trees. What are herbs? Herbs are small plants that require a less space and usually they have a green stem. Okay, they are called herbs. Like for example, we have tulsi plant. So tulsi is a herb. Okay, then we have shrub. So what is shrub? Shrub is little larger than herb. Okay, shrub is little larger than herbs. Okay, like rose plant is a shrub. Okay, cotton plant is a shrub. Aloe vera is a shrub. Okay, it is little larger than the herbs. Getting it? Then we have trees. So trees are, we know that trees are very large. They have a trunk. Alright. They have various branches in trunks. They have fruits, they have flowers, everything is there in the tree. Okay. All these things we have studied in the previous class, and we have started the plant system. Okay. So we know that plant is divided into two systems. What are they? Root system and shoot system. Okay. So what is root system? So root, we know that it is present at the bottom and that is submerged in the soil. It is called root. Yes, I'll show you the figure, children. So as you can see in the figure, the bottom is root system where root is present, and above the ground level, whatever thing is there, be it leaf, be it stem, be it flower, be it anything, all these system is called shoot system. Okay, under the ground soil is present and in soil the roots are submerged. Okay, so it is a root system. Whereas above the soil level, everything that is present is a shoot system. Okay, like flower, fruits, stem, leaf, all these things are included in shoot system. And we know that in this chapter, we have to talk about all these things in detail. So we'll talk about root in detail, stem, fruit, flowers, everything we'll talk in detail. Okay. So let's start with the root system. Root system छोटा लग रहा है, तो we'll start with the root system. Okay. So root, children, basically is present under the soil that we all know. Okay. Now there can be two different patterns of root present. What are the two different patterns of root? It is taproot and fibrous root. Okay, the types of root, the pattern of root can be of two types, taproot and fibrous root. Okay, in a taproot we have one main branch and there are several lateral branches present, whereas in fibrous root no main root is present. Okay, I'll show you the figure in the book. Children, you can open the book and you can see the figure in book also. So coming to here, we have talked about all these things. Coming to root. So see, it is on page number 83. Children, open page number 83, figure number 8.3. So there are two patterns of root, taproot and fibrous root. So roots are of two types, taproot and fibrous root. टैपरूट में क्या होता है, एक मेन ब्रांच होती है और उसमें बहुत सारी लेटरल ब्रांचेस होती हैं. ओके, दिस इज अ टैपरूट. Whereas in fibrous root, there is no main branch present. There are only several fibers like root present. Okay, so it is a fibrous root. Getting it? So roots are of two types, taproot and fibrous root. Okay. Let's see what are the example of taproot and what is the example of fibrous root. So coming back to the figure, let's see few examples of taproot and fibrous root. Okay. Taproot. So children, as you can see in the figure, we have radish, we have carrot and we have turnip. Okay, all these things are grown beneath the soil, under the soil. All these turnip, carrot, radish, all these things are grown under the soil and they have a main root. They have a main root. Okay, and there are several branches. Getting it? So this is an example of taproot. Even the tulsi plant is also having a taproot. If you just plug the root of tulsi plant, you can easily find that there is one main branch and then we have several lateral branches in the root of tulsi. Okay, whereas radish, turnip, carrot, all these things are also having a taproot structure. So this is the example of taproot. Now coming to fibrous root. So children, we have seen grasses. Yes. So if you plug the grass, you can see several colorless roots are present at the bottom of that grass. Okay, that is fibrous in nature. That is fibrous root. Getting it? Same pattern of root is also found in maize and wheat. Okay, so wheat is also having a fibrous root. Okay, so as you can see in the figure here, first figure if you will see that there are grasses and we have several fibrous root. There is no main root present. Okay. Whereas if we see here, there is one single main branch and then we have several branches in it. Okay. So this is example of taproot and these are the examples of fibrous root. Okay. So let's see in the chapter what is written. Okay. So let's talk about root. The mustard plant is this, that's shown in figure. This is a mustard plant. Okay? The mustard plant will have a main root from which a number of branch roots arise. So see here. Here also they have a main root and there are several branches present. Okay? The main root is called taproot. जो मेन रूट है उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, taproot. The branches that arise from the main root is called lateral root. So the thicker one that you are seeing in the center is a taproot and there are several branches that is a smaller and thinner. So it is a lateral root. Getting it? So such type of pattern of root is called taproot system. For example, we have pea, we have polybisin tulsi, radish, carrot, turnip, are the examples of taproot. Okay, I have shown you the figure also. So as you can see in the figure, children, that radish, carrot and turnip are having a main branch, and that is called a taproot. Okay, whereas the grasses are not having any main root, and thus they are called fibrous root. Okay, coming back. So the examples of taproots are radish, carrot, turnip, tulsi are the examples of taproot. Repeat after me, children. What are the examples of taproot? Carrot, radish, turnip and tulsi are the example of taproot. Okay. Now, in a grass plant, a number of thin fiber-like roots arise from the base of the stem. So they spread out in the soil and give support to the plant. These are known as fibrous roots. They are called fibrous roots. What are the examples? Maize, wheat, barley are the examples of fibrous root, as you have seen in the figure. So as you can see here, there are several thread-like structure present. Alright. So it is a grass and they have various fibrous root. So I hope you are clear with what is fibrous root and what is taproot. So children, quickly tell me, what is the example of taproot? Radish, carrot, turnip and tulsi are the example of taproot. Whereas, what is the example of fibrous root? Grass, maize, wheat are the example of fibrous root. Okay. So I hope you are clear with what is fibrous and what is taproot. Coming back to the chapter. Okay. So thus the two types of root systems are the taproot system and the fibrous root system. Okay. So these are the two types of root system, that is taproot system and fibrous root system. Okay. Now, what is the function of root? What does the root do? Yes, children. Why root is important? So, first of all, we know that root कहाँ present होता है? Root present होता है soil के अंदर, isn't it? So, if it is present in soil and if we try to plug that plant, तो क्या होता है? बहुत difficult होता है किसी भी plant को like if we want to just plug out a plant, it is very difficult. Yes, it takes certain labor to pick out the plant. Why? Because of the roots present beneath the soil. Because of the root that is present in the soil, it becomes very difficult for any plant to just plug off. Okay? Because the root gets fixed in the soil and anchor inside. Okay? So what does the root do? First very important thing, root anchors the plant. रूट क्या करता है? प्लांट को अपनी जगह पे रखता है और फिक्स्ड रखता है. ओके, सो रूट anchors the plant. First function. Second, we know that we always water the plant. और पानी हम कहाँ डालते हैं? ऊपर की तरफ डालते हैं? नहीं, पानी हम कहाँ डालते हैं? सॉइल में डालते हैं, isn't it? तो जब हम सॉइल में पानी डालते हैं तो पानी कहाँ जाता है? पानी पूरे प्लांट में जाता है. कैसे जाता है? With the help of root. So root absorbs the water and mineral that is present in the soil and transport it to the different parts of plants. Okay, so what is the first function of root? First function of root is that root anchors the plant. Second, that it provides water and mineral to the entire plant body. Okay, so these are the two functions of root. Let's see what is the third function of root. Okay, so first is the roots are said to anchor the plant to the soil. So I hope this is clear. Now, can a plant survive if you cut all its root? अगर हम रूट काट दे प्लांट का तो क्या प्लांट सरवाइव करेगा? नहीं करेगा. क्यों नहीं करेगा? It will dry up. वो dry हो जाएगा. Why it will dry? Because it will not absorb water and mineral present in the soil. Okay? So water and mineral salts reach the stem and the branches through the system of thin tubes present in the root and the stem. Okay, so root helps in transferring of water and mineral. Clear? Roots also bind the soil particle together and thus prevent the soil erosion. What is soil erosion? Yes, have you ever heard of this term called soil erosion? Yes, definitely you must have heard it. So what is soil erosion? So when the soil become loose, ठीक है, तो क्या होगा? अगर पानी का फ्लो आ रहा है या फिर एयर का फ्लो आ रहा है तो क्या होगा? That soil will be removed from that place. Okay, that is called soil erosion. Getting my point? So what is it? Like if a loose soil is present, then with the force of water or with the force of air, the fertile soil will be removed from that place. Getting it? This is called soil erosion. But if roots are present at that particular place, so root will bind all the soil together and will not allow the water and air to take away the soil. Okay? Roots क्या करते हैं? Soil को पकड़े रहते हैं अपने पास और चाहे water का force आए, चाहे air का force आए, वो उसको जाने नहीं देते. And when the soil is removed, it is called soil erosion. Okay? But the roots prevent soil erosion. Getting it? So this is called, these are the functions of root. So what is the first function? That it anchors the plant to the soil. Second, it provides water and minerals to the entire part of the plant and it prevents soil erosion. So these are the three functions of root. Okay, is it clear? What are the types of root? There are two types of root, taproot and fibrous root. Okay, what is the function of root? I hope it is clear to you. Now children, apart from these three main functions of root, root और भी काम करते हैं. क्या काम करते हैं? रूट क्या करते हैं? फूड को स्टोर करते हैं. जैसे अभी हम लोगों ने डायग्राम में देखा था कि रेडिश, कैरेट, टर्निप, ये जितनी भी चीजें हैं वो रूट में पाई जाती हैं. They are the root of the plant, isn't it? So, and we eat them. We eat radish, we eat carrot, and we eat turnip. Okay, so these are the food that are in the form of root. Okay, root में क्या होता है? Food store होता है. Okay, so when this type of changes occurs, it is called modification. Modification का क्या मतलब होता है? Change होना. Okay, so it is called modification. So let's talk about the modification of roots. So modification of roots. In some plants, roots perform other functions too besides the three primary functions. So apart from these three functions that have been mentioned above, root also perform more functions. So for this their structure is slightly changed. तो जब ये structure change हो जाता है, this is known as modification. इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं कि वो modify हो गया, वो change हो गया, ठीक है? This is called modification. Okay, so how they can be modified? क्या क्या changes होते हैं? तो first is roots are modified to store food, and second, roots are modified to give extra support. Okay, so let's see how. So first one is in modification of root. So we are aware about what is modification. Modification का मतलब होता है कि change होना. जो normal root होता है उससे अगर कोई और structure आ जाए, कोई और change आ जाए, तो it is called modification. Okay. Now roots are modified to store food and roots are modified to give extra support. So let's first talk about the first one. Roots are modified to store food. हम यहाँ जितनी भी चीज देख रहे हैं, बीट रेडिश, बीट कैरेट, बीट टर्निप, ये सब हम लोग देख रहे हैं कहाँ पे हो रहे हैं? सब अंडरग्राउंड हो रहे हैं. अंडरग्राउंड मतलब कि सॉइल में हो रहे हैं, ठीक है? और इनका स्ट्रक्चर कैसा है? टैप रूट जैसा है. These are the structures are like taproot. Okay, so these radish, carrot and turnip are nothing but the modification of root. ये root है, ठीक है, जिनको हम खाते हैं. Okay, so they are modified root. तो क्या होता है? We know that plant prepare their food from the leaf. Leaf में वो अपना खाना prepare करते हैं by the process of photosynthesis. Okay, now that food is stored in the root. Okay, वो जितने भी खाना जो वो बना रहे हैं लीफ में, वो सब जाके कहाँ स्टोर होगा? रूट में, in the form of this carrot, radish, turnip, ये सब जाके यहाँ पे स्टोर होगा and we eat it. Okay, so root can be modified in such way also. And second is roots are modified to give extra support. Like we have seen a banyan tree. This is a banyan tree. बरगद का पेड़ कहते हैं इसको. तो banyan tree. So if you look very carefully to the banyan tree, उसमें बहुत सारी branches होती हैं. एक तो मेन ब्रांच होती है, उसके अलावा भी बहुत सारे लेटरल ब्रांचेस होती हैं. ये ब्रांचेस नहीं, ये रूट्स हैं. दे आर रूट्स बिकॉज banyan tree is very huge and very heavy, so the roots get modified from the stem of the plant. Okay, and they give support to the banyan tree ताकि वो गिर के टूट ना जाए, उसके स्टेम ना टूट जाए. तो they give support, and such type of roots are called prop roots. What are they called, children? They are called prop roots. Let's see. Okay, so the banyan tree have roots that grow down from its branches, as we have seen in the figure. As these roots reach ground, they fix themselves in soil and give support to the spreading branches of a huge tree. Okay, so by उसमें से क्या होगा? banyan tree है, उसमें बहुत सारे stems है, उनकी branches है. उन branch में से root आएगा और वो जाके soil में submerged हो जाएगा. By this, they give support to the branches. Okay, so that it does not break, because banyan tree is very huge tree. Okay, it is very heavy. So they need support, and these roots give support to them. And such roots are called prop root. क्या बोलते हैं इसको आप? Prop root. Okay, so such types of roots are called prop root. They give support to the plant. Okay, like we can see in the figure here. So these are the roots. They are the roots of banyan tree. रूट्स नीचे भी होते हैं, बट ये भी रूट होते हैं. दे आर कॉल्ड prop roots. They are called, children, prop roots. They give support to the tree. Okay, now coming to next example, that is maize. Maize में भी क्या होता है? To give it a support, there are certain extra branching present. As you can see in the second figure, apart from the main root, they have certain extra branching present. Okay, they are also called prop root. They are also called prop root. They also provide support to the plant. Okay, moving ahead, we have few more examples like sugar cane. So in sugar cane also we can see there are several more roots present. It is also called prop root. Same in screw pine. In screw pine also, as you can see at the bottom, there are several long roots present. So they are also called prop root. Getting it? So these are the modification of roots. Getting my point, children? Children, if you are not able to understand it, please do ask in the group. Okay, I'll again explain it to you. But please do ask in the group. Okay, so roots are modified to give extra support. Okay, so we have talked about it. Let's read this. Roots are modified to store food. So we eat radish, carrot and turnip because there is food stored in them. Which part of the plant are these? These are roots. So the food made in the green leaves travel downwards and is stored in the taproot. Plant use this food when conditions are not favorable. Okay, so that was about the root. Few examples of prop roots are sugarcane, screw pine, maize are also the example of taproot, like prop root. Okay, so this was about the root. In next class, children, we'll do the oral question and we'll talk about stem. Okay, so we'll see what is a stem, what is the modification of a stem. There are tendrils present, that is called stem tendril. Potato, gourd, grapevine, all are the examples of this. So children, please go through this chapter once again. This is very important. So please go through this chapter, children. This is very important. अगर आपको कोई भी चीज समझ में नहीं आ रही है, if you are not able to understand any point or any topic, please do ask in the group. I will explain it again. Okay, so that's all for today's class. Please do read the chapter. If you come across any kind of doubt, do ask in the group. Okay, so that's all for today's class. Today's homework is to read the chapter. Okay, so that's all for today's class. Thank you and Jai Hind everyone.